This right here is a 2006 Honda Element. And by the end of this video, I'm gonna convince you that this is the best SUV you can buy for, let's say, under $2,000. Now to start off, I only paid $900 for this. It runs, it drives, but not very well. There's a few things we gotta do to make it actually long-term drivable. Now, before we talk about the major issues and why this thing was only $900, let's go around the outside and take a look of what we got to work with, a little run through of what this car is. Looking at it as a whole, it looks pretty good. It's all straight, no major dents, no major damage or anything, at least on the passenger side. The driver's side has a few more dings and dents. First thing you may notice is it was wrapped. The guy I bought it from said it used to be a dog grooming vehicle. I don't know if they actually groomed the dogs in it or if this was like the transport vehicle or just advertisement, but as you can see, the wrap is very old and falling apart and going to be a real pain to actually remove. I've removed, installed, and dealt with wraps before. This, however, might be the worst I've ever seen. This is actually really bad. This is to a point where it might actually take off the paint and might have to deal with repainting the whole thing. At a quick first look, this whole front end looks in solid shape. There's a few minor things when you start staring at it for too long, like some rust poking through underneath the wrap. Also a bungee cord holding the hood on, along with a dent in the front bumper, and the fog light is really corroded and messed up and broken. And lastly, a big crack on the front bumper right here. Moving on to the driver's side, it all looks pretty good. The crack right here, a little bit more wrap material on the front door, but what may be drawing your eye right now is this rust pocket. This rust goes all the way through to the interior. This is bad, but it's not absolutely unfixable. I'm not sure if it's going to be worth fixing. If I can find a door cheap enough, it might be better just to replace it, but we can fix this if we need to. Moving to the back, it all looks perfectly fine back here. Nothing is even standing out at all. No rust, no anything. So overall in the exterior, not too bad. Nothing that we can't fix. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is rust. Once you start seeing rust on doors, that means the underside, probably not any better. I haven't looked at that yet, but from telling what the engine bay looks like, it's probably not very good. Before we take a look at the engine bay, let's take a look at the inside because that's what makes these vehicles very cool. Look at how much room it has just to even get inside of it. This whole door basically opens up. Overall, the interior is okay shape, especially for having dogs in it all the time. You can see some dog hair everywhere, mainly on the seats because that's where the only fabric is. This car is very nice because it doesn't have carpet. It is all weatherproof material throughout the whole thing. So this vehicle is actually perfect for having dogs, so it makes sense why they'd use it for a dog vehicle. And for having a lot of dogs in it, it's in pretty good shape. The seats definitely need cleaned, but to be expected, especially for a 20-year-old car. But as you may notice, these back seats are folded up and out of the way. That way you can slide as much stuff in here as you want to. This is basically a 6-foot truck bed. And these seats actually fold back down with ease. You can even take them out if you want to. But I'm gonna show you how to fold them down real quick because it's actually really cool. There's a clip up here you undo, just like that. Folds down, clicks right in. Pull this up like that. Takes literally 5 seconds. And to lift it back up, you just pull this little tab in the front, fold it back up. This folds out of the way, hooks right up. Have I sold you on it yet? Because this is a really cool car for under $2,000. But now let me show you the bad things about it because there is a few little things that I need to fix or deal with. And that would be these seats. The driver's seat mainly, but this passenger seat also has a little bit of damage and cracking going on. Me personally, I hate seat covers. I can never find one that actually looks good. So I'd like to replace this with OEM material and make it look brand new again. I don't know where to find that, so if anyone has any help on that. Worst case, I would have to take it all out and have it redone professionally, but hoping to find a company out there who already sells them. So passenger seat in bad shape, driver seat in bad shape. Dash looks to be okay, but it definitely needs cleaned up. Same thing with the door panels. You can see some grime on them that needs to be scrubbed down. And definitely the back seats have a lot of stains and stuff in them. It doesn't smell bad in here. It doesn't smell like dog, but it doesn't smell good either. So don't know what the smell is, but we can definitely take care of that. Nothing too bad. Overall, the interior is not that bad. It just needs a nice detail and spray down, which we can handle. Now let's take a look under the hood because that is a different story. If we take a look in the engine bay, this is where you can start to see the $900 price point and why it was only $900. There's a little bit of rust and corrosion. It looks like this thing was dipped into the ocean, to be honest. I don't know why it looks like this in here, but the rest of the body looks perfectly fine. I don't know what the issue is or what happened to it to cause it to do this. But it still starts up and runs okay. I don't think there's any lights on the dash, but there is an issue that we need to fix, and that's the start of the issues of why this thing was so cheap. If we take a look, it's already kind of taken apart. This is the radiator fan. Everything else is loose down here and taken apart. A bunch of rust on the radiator support. And that's because the previous owner started to remove the radiator. And I don't know if you can see it very well, but it is just falling apart by the touch of it. It is in terrible shape. I've never seen one this bad before, and I don't know what caused it. That is the first major issue with this. The second one is the brakes, and that is because the previous owner replaced the rear calipers. He said that they were locked up when he bought it. He replaced them, but he didn't end up bleeding the brakes, so they just go straight to the floor and it takes a while for it to stop. If we take a look at the rest of the brakes though, they all need to be replaced. The calipers need done, the rotors, pretty much everything needs to be replaced on the brakes. So I'm gonna go ahead and order a whole brake kit. That way we can just replace it all and make sure this thing stops, because that is an important thing for a vehicle. Also in the back, he didn't hook up all the wires when he replaced the calipers. There's a wire hanging down back there. I believe it's the ABS sensor. We'll have to take that wheel off and make sure everything is all buttoned back up how it should be. I know I'm talking a lot, but I'd like to give a lot of background information. That way, if you guys see something or know something, you guys can comment down below. Help me out, help everyone else out watching this video, and just spread a little bit of knowledge to everyone. That's what I like doing. It helps me out and it helps everyone else out too, watching these videos and learning as we go. A couple other highlights to this car. The wheels are actually Koenig wheels. They're a little bit old and sun faded. Tires look okay, maybe a little bit of dry rot, but I think they are okay enough to drive on. And one last positive thing is it came with 2 sets of keys. Very nice. Nice to have. All right, now that I gave you guys the full rundown, you know as much as I do about this vehicle, we can start digging into it and getting it ready to drive. We need to take this thing on a test drive, make sure it's actually worth fixing. But to do that, we need to fix the radiator, the AC condenser, and get it all buttoned up. Same thing with the brakes, get all those replaced, and then we can take it on a test drive. First things first, let's take off this front bumper and get to this radiator. That was easy. All right, get the radiator out. That was a pain, but it's out. Let's see how bad this one is too. That's the same thing as a condenser. Doesn't look the prettiest in here. Maybe I'll give it a little pressure wash. With that all cleaned up, we can get a better look. It's not too bad. Nothing that needs really replaced. This bracket's a little crusty looking, but this just holds the condenser, and the other side's good, and it's bolted in other places, so it should be fine. What I am gonna do is clean it up and paint over it. And the perfect job for that is Eastwood's Rust Encapsulator. I use this on all my rusty projects. You just paint it right over the surface rust, and it will prevent it from spreading and make it look a lot better. You can roll this on, brush it on, spray it on. I'm probably just gonna brush it on because there's not a whole lot I can do right here. All I have to do is scuff it up and make sure there's not any rust flakes still falling off, and then I can just paint directly over it. I use this stuff all the time and it makes it look so much better. And it's really easy to use. Yeah, that looks so much better. You can still tell it's there, and that's what I kind of want. I don't want to hide anything, and if I ever sell this in the future, obviously I'm going to let them know that there was rust on it. It's coated, it's not going to rust anymore, and all done the correct way. So I'm going to let that dry, and then we can start putting on the new radiator and new condenser. a little before and after. Crazy difference. Look at that. I can't get over that. It just falls apart. It's crazy. Nice and cold. The check engine light did come on. It was revving kind of funny, and it's actually revving pretty high right now. Happy it came on because that can actually tell us what's going on with this thing. But it's not overheating, so that is a good sign. The fans are working. Good to go. We need to dig into this check engine light and see what's going on with it, and I have a new toy to test it all out. This is a new code reader from TopDon. I never used one this fancy before. You can control your windows. You can turn off annoying features like the dinging whenever your seatbelt's not on. You can do all that. This is updated to newer year cars. I think my last one only went up to a 2014 vehicle, so I couldn't even work on my dad's truck with it. So I'm gonna hook it up and see what it says about this whole car and get an idea of what's going on. It even comes with a fancy carrying case. Oh, this thing's really fancy. Really cool. Ooh, it has like a kickstand too. Check it out. That's fancy. I'm so easily amused. He has a cable. Perfect. I'm not sure what these other accessories are. Charger maybe? It's running a health report right now. It's going pretty quick. Usually this takes like 20 minutes on my other one. All right, that only took like 5 minutes and I have the whole report already, and I can share it with a QR code, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so I can like just scan that and I guess I can text it out. Text it to myself, that way I have the information. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see what's going on. Idle air controller, intake leak. The ABS stuff, I'm not really too worried about because of that sensor hanging on the back. I'm sure that's what it is. Yeah, we'll go ahead and clear the codes and then start it up again. Once they come back, then we'll know what's actually real. I just cleared everything and the ABS stuff came back and the airbag light came back. Need to figure out which airbag light that is and then see if it's unplugged or something. There's no airbags blown in this, so it's probably just a plug. We'll see if the engine is running a little bit better. Sounds better. Did some more digging and it can go into services, and there's a ton of stuff I can do in here. Brake reset, oil reset, coolant bleed, which I probably need to do since I replaced all the coolant in here. Work on the injectors, start and stop, reset, window calibration. There's just so many options I can do. And a lot of this is for like newer cars when they have all automatic stuff. This older vehicle probably doesn't have half this stuff, but it's cool to have and definitely gonna come in handy. We're gonna dig more into that once we can actually take it on a test drive and see what's going on. But to do that, we need to fix these brakes. And luckily, I have new brakes in. At least for the rear right now. Got new rotors, new pads. We'll get the back end all done, and then once the front comes in, we'll get that done too. Unfortunately, the lug key is not in the car, so hopefully I can find one around here somewhere. Got one. It's the only one I have, so got lucky. What are the odds I can get this rotor off? They usually have a little screw in there, and if it's rusted, it's pretty hard. I don't know what's going on. There's like a sensor here, but it looks the same as this one. What I'm thinking is he replaced the new one, but he can't get to the plug back here. Maybe that's what it is? I don't know, we'll have to see. All right, I got the new one plugged in. That's what happened. He replaced this whole ABS sensor, and zip tied it on. I would fix that, but I think the mounting system's broke. So zip ties are gonna have to do for now until we can replace all that. Might wanna do this whole suspension eventually, so we'll see. Next up, I'm gonna attempt to get this rotor off. This part right here is gonna be the hard part because that usually is the most difficult, especially when dealing with rust. So hopefully we can get that screw out and then the rest should be pretty easy. See if we can get this thing out. Don't have high hopes. No way. Oh, I was expecting that to be so much harder. There's not another one, so it should just slide off. That's crazy. I was expecting that to be so much harder. Unfortunately, the ones that came in earlier are for the front. I thought they were for the rear. But the weight on those that come in should be in today or tomorrow, hopefully. Well, since I'm waiting on those rear brakes, I might as well start on the front. Get those swapped out. One down. Yeah, I don't have high hopes for this one. Yeah, that was not coming out. It doesn't look good. Not much positive I can say about it. I did order a new caliper. This one is just completely gone. This knuckle you cannot buy brand new, and if you do buy it brand new, it's like $600 per side. Not worth it. So maybe I'm gonna try a junkyard and see if I can find one better shape. I don't think the passenger side's any better, but we can go ahead and take all that off and get an idea, see if we need to order anything else. A quick little update. I tried to find some new parts or used parts. Checked my local junkyards. I even drove all the way there because they said they had one of these cars. Turns out they didn't after I paid and got in already. But no luck on the new knuckles, so I'm gonna have to make this work until I can actually find a good one, which is okay because we want to test this car out and make sure it runs properly before we put a bunch of money into the suspension. With that being said, I rust protected and covered all the rust areas that we're gonna keep for right now. This car needs new suspension anyway, so once we get it driving and riding comfortably, we can dig into the suspension and replace all those necessary parts. But we're gonna continue on. We're gonna install the brand new caliper because this one, yeah, I'll take this out and you can see how bad it is. Take a look at the comparison. There's even a hole in this one. It looks so much better. That was the old brake. This is the new one. It's nothing but metal, or whatever's left of metal. Rear brakes are in. Should be an easy install, hopefully. Every single brake is done. All 4 corners completely replaced. Honestly, the brake part wasn't as bad as I was expecting. It's just the rest of it. It looks so bad. But that's for another day. Right now, we're gonna bleed the brakes, put the wheels back on, and take it for a test drive. No lights on the dash besides the brake light. I don't know why that's on. ABS light's not on. Check engine light. Still seems like it's idling really high. Maybe that will go away after a little test drive. It's a bumpy ride. I feel like I'm bouncing all over the place. I'm gonna take it out on the main road, see if I can get it up to speed. Not gonna go far because who knows what's gonna happen. You can see how crooked the steering wheel is. Needs an alignment. A little shaky, probably from the alignment. Not hearing any weird noises or anything, but it is pretty shaky. I can feel like every bump I hit. Brakes are amazing now. One positive. Steering is tight. Yeah. It's gonna be a fun car. It just needs this little bit of extra work done. Turn signal out. I know I have a headlight out too. Gotta fix that. Shifting perfect, running pretty good. Idling is still a little weird, but maybe it'll fix itself. Optimistic. It's idling at like 1100, but when I put it in park, it shoots right up to 2000, which is a little weird. I think it's supposed to be idling at like 900. I don't know, maybe the check engine light will come back on and we can see what's really going on with it. But for right now, I'm gonna move forward with the interior work and just cleaning up the rest of it. Check engine light came back on. It's idling lower, but it's like revving up and down. Gonna hook back up this code reader and then we can get an idea of what to fix or replace or what's going on. Disgusting. Bunch of dog hair. I take this thing and suck out all the water I can. Most of this is vinyl. The center pieces and the side pieces are cloth, so mainly just trying to get water out of that. Even though these seats are in rough shape, I might as well take them out and clean them up a bit. That way I'm not sitting on 20 years of whatever this is. You can just see how gross it is. teeth. A little bit cleaner. I figure while we have the seats out, we might as well just take up all this flooring, get up underneath there, vacuum it all out, maybe pressure wash this, and we can put it all back together once those seats dry. Disgusting. You can see how much dog hair and dirt and everything else I got off of this. I was expecting this floor mat to come a little bit cleaner. It has some stains on it. Like, I don't know what this yellow stain is, and I tried so hard to scrub this and get it cleaned up really nice, but I don't know, 20 years old, so it's to be expected. So I'm gonna try something. I got this vinyl spray paint that I'm gonna try to spray on it. It's a pretty close color match. This is a little bit shinier, but it can't look any worse. I don't know if this is gonna hold up, but I'm glad to test it out for you guys. That's an insane difference. I hope it stays like that. It looks so good. This Giraffe Tools pressure washer makes quick work of washing my car, cleaning seats, cleaning pretty much anything I need. I always look for tools that make my life easier and speed up the process. That way I can put out more content for you guys. And that leads me into my next product I'm going to show off for you guys. Giraffe Tools sent me out their wall-mounted vacuum cleaner. My current vacuum cleaner is about 15 years old. It's falling apart, missing pieces, has multiple holes in the hose that I have taped up currently. It's always in the way too. I have it stored outside under my carport. It's just about time for an upgrade. This vacuum cleaner comes with pretty much everything you need to install it. It comes with all the hardware you need to install it onto your cement wall, into your garage, or wherever you have planned to install it. It comes with 6 different nozzles with their own organization system. It comes with extensions, vacuum ends to vacuum up normal carpet. And my favorite feature is the on and off button on the handle itself. That way I can turn it on and off from my vehicle that is about 20 feet away from the actual vacuum. I can say this vacuum is a lot more powerful than the current vacuum I have. It was also very easy to install on my wall. It comes with an installation template, so I just taped it up on my wall, and that has all the mounting points I need to install this bracket. Installing this only took about 10 minutes, and I have it stored up out of the way, along with the organization bin for all my nozzle tips. Easily accessible, and I know they're gonna be stored right here. I'm not gonna lose any of them. The hose easily pulls out and locks into place once you're at the desired length. I pulled my dad's truck around to give it a quick vacuum. It only took about 10 minutes to go through this whole truck. And cleanup was even quicker because all I had to do was retract the hose and it's all cleaned up. This vacuum cleaner is going to get a lot of use, especially in my upcoming videos when I'm rebuilding cars that have been sitting for years. So I'm really going to be putting it to test here in the next few months. So far, I'm really liking it. I'm going to leave the link in my description. You guys can check it out if you want to. If you're looking for birthday gift ideas, anniversary, whatever you may have it, check it out. Links in the description. Now let's get back to the Honda Element and getting that interior finished up. That vacuum did a fantastic job cleaning all this up. It looks amazing in here. It does work better on carpet, but still did a good job. However, it did uncover some rust that we have to deal with. There's a little hole right here on the driver's side, and there's a couple pinholes on the passenger side. This isn't really a big deal for me. I have all those supplies and stuff necessary to fix that. Also, I fixed way worse than this. If you watch my Jeep rebuild series, you'll know that I replaced a lot of the floor in that Jeep. This right here is a small area. We'll cut out a little patch panel and weld it in. Put some seam sealer over it and call it a day. Made a patch panel. Should fit right over that. cut out that rust. Not perfect, but it's better. Yeah, nothing's getting through that. This looks stunning. Not perfect, but the before and after, it's pretty crazy. Not sure how much better I can make the seat look, but worth a try before I put a seat cover on it. Maybe stitch this back together, put some leather over it, maybe. It looks like Frankenstein. But I sewed up all the rips. There's a rip up here too. Yeah, I'm gonna put some leather paste over it and maybe try to color match it. I'm definitely not gonna be able to get this texture right, but maybe it'll look better. This has been a pain. I've gone through a lot of different supplies. I'll tell you what not to use is this stuff. This stuff does not work at all. What I ended up using is just seam sealer, and that seems to be working out pretty well. It's also flexible and it should hold up over time. Obviously, this is not gonna be perfect and it doesn't look very pretty right now, but once we throw some paint on it, it's a little bit less noticeable. For about a $20 fix, it's about as good as it's gonna get. Disgusting. Time to start work on the actual body of the car. There's a few spots I really want to focus on. One being this door right here. This little rust spot I think I can fix. I'm gonna take this door off to get a better look at what is going on underneath there, see how bad it actually is. Worst case, I can find another door for this, but best case, I can fix it and save a little bit of money. Now we can get a better idea. It didn't go up too far. Should be okay, I think. Let's see if I can just cut it out and see if I can make a patch panel. Not bad. Let's flip it over, Do the other side. Not too bad. Throw some body filler on, call it a day. Also forgot about this front bumper that needs a little fix. It's a crack in the side right here. I'm gonna use my plastic welder slash stapler and it'll be good as new. Got a little tool. It just melts right in. Just like that, to the outside. Did the inside for good measure. It's not going anywhere. Oh, not perfect, but it should go back on there straight. Need to replace these fog lights. Don't even know if they work. OEM ones are really expensive, but I found these on Amazon. Look like a cool color. I think I can modify them to fit in there. Looks good. Like this. I should have just bought a new hood. Right there. You take all this out. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm pretty sure this is the part right here that's bad, but I'm just gonna replace this whole thing because it's all in bad shape. All better. So you've been running for about 5 minutes and running perfectly. No check engine lights on. idling back down to normal, we're good to go. That's not supposed to move like that. They're both terrible. Got that. Got these seat covers because they were in good shape. And the rear impact bar. Mine's rusty. There's no way this was coming out, and look how bad that is. So, got some new ones. See if I can get these ball joints out. Replace them. Brand new. Yeah, it's bad shape. Brand new. This side is all done. I got the lower control arm replaced along with the new knuckle, new speed sensor, new ball joint. Everything up here is replaced except for the strut and the ball joint, and that is because I might replace that here in the near future. And that brings me to this side. You see this new one is still out, and that was because I could not get this bolt removed. Decided I really didn't want to deal with that right now. I did not want to deal with a broken bolt, especially for such an important part. So we're gonna save that for another time. And then the same thing up here, I gotta replace the strut and the tie rod end. Tires all on, everything's back together. Let's take it for a test drive, see what it does. Once we got like above 30 miles an hour, it was shaking really bad, so hopefully it's not like that anymore. It's looking pretty good. It's definitely better, but I can still feel a little bit, and that might be from the struts. And the steering wheel is just really crooked. And once I replace the tie rods, that could fix that. I'm like 55 now. I couldn't even go that fast before. Yeah, I think I need to replace the struts, and that will fix a lot of my issue. But good news is I'll be able to drive this around right now, and that is okay. Oh, my ABS light came on. Might be one of the front sensors. And with that last little bit done, we have turned this $900 vehicle into a pretty solid daily driver. Now, it's definitely not perfect. It is almost 20 years old, and it also has almost 180,000 miles on it. But I think it looks really great, especially seeing how it started and what it looks like now. I'm sure it hasn't looked like this in a very long time. So I paid $900 for this thing, and I have $835 into it currently. That brings the total price to $1,735, which is under my $2,000 price point that I was going for. Now, these cars with this amount of miles go for right around $3,000 all the way up to $5,000, depending on the condition of it. Do I think I can get $3,000 for this? Maybe. With all the cars I rebuild and refurbish, I like to drive them for a little bit, test them all out, make sure they're in good shape before I actually get rid of them. This one, however, I'm gonna keep for a little bit longer and do a little bit more work to it. There is a few more things I wanna finish up. I really wanna get it driving properly and get rid of that shake in the steering wheel. Also get that steering wheel fixed and aligned and just do a full alignment around the whole vehicle. Replace the struts and just make sure it's running and driving properly. Another thing I would like to do is repaint it possibly. The wrap that was on it actually stained the paint underneath it, so I can't get the rest of this residue off. It's actually not even residue, it's just stain from it sitting out in the sun for so long. Same thing with the roof, I can't get any of that off without sanding it down completely. The paint along the sides and everywhere else looks okay, but it just has a lot of dents and dings and scratches. It really needs a full paint job. And that's the question I want to ask you guys. Do you think it's worth it to put a new paint job on this? Should I fix the dents, repaint it all silver, or maybe do something custom? I do like to do custom paint jobs and make it a little bit different. So my question to you guys is, do you think I should do that, or just leave it as is and drive it around, or paint it back to stock? Let me know in the comments what you think I should do to this paint job, or if I should even do anything to it. This won't be the last episode on this build, because like I said, I'm keeping it for a while. I'll be driving it around, and this will probably be my new daily driver. There's a bit more stuff I want to do to it, and I also picked up some extra parts while I was at the junkyard. some new seat covers, a rear impact bar that I needed because the old one was really rusty. Just a few extra goodies to actually clean this thing up and make it look perfect. My cheap fix on these seats are holding up, especially the passenger side looks pretty good, but where I'm actually sliding in and out of the car, it's starting to scratch up and show that silicone underneath. But I did find a few seat covers at the junkyard. Not everything I needed, but I think enough to make this look better. So that is it for now on this vehicle. Let me know in the comments what you think. Was it worth the $900 price point? Would you have paid less? Would you have paid more? Would you even buy this thing now in its current state? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next cheap rebuild project. Maybe we'll go a little bit more expensive. Probably not. Bye.